Hey everybody, finally back with an art stream. Last streamed me working on this character the other day, and I was struggling with some of the rigging. Just a bit, no, not a bit, a lot out of practice. But we're back, and hopefully we're gonna get some animations going. I'm probably out of practice with this too, but hopefully I'll be able to continue to stream and not just do a bunch of research off screen. So we'll get started on that. First, let me go over what I do with the rigging. Just kind of show um, what I was having trouble with and what I ended up doing. Excuse me. So first things first, the main thing I was having trouble with really was something pretty simple. It was this bandolier here. This strap on her shoulder, which holds the grenades. It might be kind of hard to see. Maybe you could see here. Easier. Yeah. So a little strap there. I decided I was having issues with a lot of things. The main thing was these are separate objects. These little buckles and the grenades. And that ended up sort of being my downfall a bit. In that they wouldn't move in a way, like they wouldn't move the same way that the strap would move. There's a million ways to solve this. I probably could have joined them as one object because I'm not going to make any changes to the object. So that's why they were separate to begin with, because I wasn't sure if I'd make changes. So it's kind of a moot point now. But anyway, they're still separate objects. And everything was paired to the body, or this big rig here, all these little graphs you see. And so the strap would move and conform pretty close to the arm and shoulder. And I had a lot of trouble getting these to move along with it in a way that made sense. What I ended up doing is I decided, well, this is a strap. It's a loose strap on just over her shoulder. It really shouldn't conform exactly the same way to her body as like the coat does. Like it's not going to move her arm. It's going to stay in place in the same rotation as you move your arm. Now, realistically, it might be kind of awkward to run around with something like this just over your shoulder, maybe not over your, like, the side of you, backpack or something. But for what it is right now, it should just hang. So what I ended up doing is I made a separate little rig, and it looks kind of weird. But this rig is a totally separate armature, and it's pretty basic, very basic. Basically, the bandolier is paired to this big bone, and each of these little bones that control the rotation of the buckles and the little grenades here are all parented to this one bone. So the idea is I could come here and just rotate these and have them bob up and down when she moves around. Now, to get all of this working, I have a couple bone constraints on this. Oh, one sec. All right. Sorry, I'm actually trying to remind myself what bone constraints I made here. Let's see. So it looks like I ended up with several bone constraints, but basically we have Child of Constraint, which is just another more customizable way of parenting it to something. It's parented to the shoulder, so there's a shoulder bone. I think I have the bones hidden here, but there's a shoulder bone right there in this big rig. And then finally, I have it rotate a little bit with the movement of the upper arm. This just took tweaking and trial and error over the course of probably longer than I care to admit, for something so straightforward. Other areas I worked on, I did some different stuff. These are just kind of, these are just attached, like, and it just kind of worked. I did some weight painting on these buckles to make sure they didn't pull and move everywhere with every witch bone that's kind of close. And then I just copied those weights over to the skulls, and it ended up working fine. So if I, and you can see this bone, this skull right here moves appropriately because this part of the coat moves with the legs. That's exactly what I wanted. And you can see the bandolier there doing what I want to do. And kind of see how it stays in place. Finally, and it's possible I may make some changes here. I did work on the jaw. I'm sure I was doing something wrong, but as you can see, this was one object, but I actually ended up separating it, because I think that's just how Rigify works. Separate, like, upper and lower jaw. You don't have to use Rigify, but I do highly recommend it, especially if you're well, I would recommend it to beginners, but I guess maybe I should say I recommend really learning how to rig first. But it is good for beginners still. But anyway, that seems to be how it works. But if you wanted your jaw to be one object, you could totally do that. You just might have to rig it yourself, but the rig would be very simple. For a jaw, it would just be one, I think it would just be two bones, and you might have to do some weight painting to make sure the bottom bone controls only the bottom teeth and not pieces of the top teeth. I think you'd be able to do that pretty easily. Okay, so that's what I did with the rigging. The only things I noticed is while posing the character, and I guess I kind of blew away this pose now, so it's not really there, but I just had her giving a thumbs up. I mean, it kind of showed me, like, this doesn't look like a great thumb. There's probably some extra work I should consider doing. And just kind of modeling sort of I don't know, like, just doing little things like that make her thumb look more like a thumb. And I may go back and do that, but I think we're just going to move on to animating today. Let's see. Yeah. So for today, because this will be a bit of a refresher for me, I'm just going to try to get a basic walk and run animation. I'll try to get that going. If I'm able to do that quickly, then I'll move on to more complex things. We'll also do an idle animation, so just her kind of chilling, standing and breathing. Don't know if we'll do any attack animations, but we could. Her planned attack is just to throw bombs, so there's not going to be like a weapon other than the grenades. But we're actually not going to animate the grenades here. I mean, maybe I will, just to make this a portfolio piece, but the grenade is going to be an item in Unity that will spawn in her hand and will be thrown in a direction. It's not something I'm really going to animate in Blender. So we're really animating her and the grenade itself will be a separate object that will look like these, and she'll just keep plucking like infinite grenades from her belt and throwing them. Okay. All that out of the way. And first things first, I am doing exactly what I was worried about. I am doing some research off screen, but it's not going to take long. I'm just going to grab a walk reference and a run reference. But let me try to find one that I actually like, because wow, there are actually like this. Okay. And I get a run reference. I like this one too. And kind of somewhat cartoony references, but I think that's appropriate. Clock cycle saved. Cycle JPEG saved. Okay. Bring them in here. Okay, well, let me credit these since I'm saving this video and everything. This run cycle is made by Thomas Gilpin. Looks like he has a blog. blogs.ulster.ac.uk/Thomas Gilpin. So check him out. Hope he doesn't mind the plug. Let me go back to the walk cycle. A walk cycle. Sorry, I'm actually plugging them. Let's take a look at them. So this is the Thomas Gilpin run right here. And the walk cycle right beneath that is from a site that's having trouble loading. I was able to get the image up, so not sure why. It's a rooftop.co.jp, and it's a walk cycle, but I'm not able to get to the website. Well, I'll try again later so we can plug that. All right. Oops. There we go. So we're gonna have to run that direction. I'll do a walk cycle first. Hey, there we go. It's actually going to kind of work, although this might be a little too cartoony. But we are just using this as a reference, so it's fine. Hold on. We're gonna do this on the other side so I can actually read the titles of contact down, passing up. So now we have a pretty clear reference here. So some of the steps might be a little different than what I'm about to say, but in any art discipline, other than starting with a reference, the thing you start with is blocking out. So you always want to block out. First, let me see here. Remind myself how to do this. There's the action editor. I'm actually going to save that as an action. And let me remind myself. I'll actually get to that. So we're making more than one animation, and Blender has a system for organizing them. And you organize them by referring to them as actions. So now, like, I'll do a new action. This one will be walk. I'm going to actually remove all of that. Oops. Hey, what? There we go. Okay, it is saving. I'm just making sure it's saving all those keys. That just helps me save this default pose, which I have trouble getting back to sometimes, which can be pretty annoying. Okay. So let's do it. So we'll start with this. We will go from there. So this is going to be the left, if I'm reading this right. It's fine. Okay. Just jump on here and see. Tweak this for sure, because I just can't see. Huh. What's her? Okay. So now we key these. Oops. Trying to remember how to key only specific actions. Man, I'm out of practice here. Oh, here we go. So this is what I want to get this menu to pop. So we're just going to key the location and rotation because I moved and I rotated. Okay. So now we go to this part down here and we move this forward a little bit. How forward is something, how far forward is something we'll tweak a lot. Animating practice always involves a hell of a lot of tweaking. Let's see here. Just barely see the other hand there. This is what I should be doing here. Just kind of moving along. But we're already kind of off a bit just because of the shape, overall shape of the character. That's a and okay, so that's K. No. Nope. So we're doing this with 10 frame intervals right now. It's fine. see. Location. Yeah. Copy. It's flipped. Now we just copy. Zero. We'll end one frame before. Let's just see how the loop looks. Yeah. So obviously it doesn't look great, but we do have a loop. So we have our base. And so from here we tweak. So what I was doing here is I was copying the keyframes and then pasting the mirror of them so that we could continue the loop. And I finished off with copying the first frame. I put it on the 80th frame, and we're looping to the 79th frame. So that way the computer, just as it's about to iterate to frame 80, it stops and iterates to frame 0, which is the same information. And that way we get a perfect loop. So now we tweak. So first things first, you can kind of see this bobs up and down. So that's something we're going to do. So might not really be enough bob, but it's okay. Surpassing. So now we go up. There we go. Up. There we go. Non-contact, we go back down. So go down a little further. Have some place here. 5. Okay. So one thing to do. I needed to have keyed this right there. Yeah. Five. What we need to make sure that gets copied. It says look too great, does it? Here's what we'll do. We'll just key the low points. And the high points. 1, 2, 3. And this needs to be so slow. Yep. This needs to be 40. Let's go to 50. I think we can delete that 40, so then it'll just iterate more smoothly. So next, there's a few things I want to do. I'll explain what I'm doing in just a second. Same thing with the hands. So what I'm doing is I'm changing the X value, just the X, the location of it, so that her hands are closer together so it doesn't look like she's balancing on a tightrope or something. And so by doing that, I'm only copying over just the X. So even though it looks like I'm copying the locations here and I'm just going to freeze the hands there, I'm only doing that for the X value, not the Y, which is back and forth, or the Z, which is up and down. Just doing it for the X so her hands stay a little closer to her side. Okay, let's see if that looks a little bit better. Looks a little bit better, but now I have a jitter. Not sure how I managed that actually. But jitters are easy to deal with because I'll just make sure I'll copy everything from the 0 value and freeze it right there. Hopefully that should work. Yeah, I got rid of the jitter. So we can continue. And tell you what, let me up the frame rate here. Yep. So obviously it's not super clean looking, and there's a few things we can do to tweak. One, this is actually a lot of keys to put in. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that we should block out, meaning do the most extreme poses only, and then let the computer iterate in between. This is a lot keyframes just for a walking animation. So what that means is, like, say if you look at the arm, it's like a robot. It's not organically moving from one to the other. Part of the reason it's doing that is because I keyed too many actions instead of just letting the computer cleanly cleanly iterate in between the keyframes. So that I need to make a change to, and I need to determine exactly where that is that I need to do that. So give me just a sec while I figure that out. Okay, there's definitely a part right here that I want to change. See how that looks. Looks a little bit better. Not to knock whoever made this walking cycle. The walking cycle looks great. It's just not the greatest match for the model I'm using. I think I've had easier times making walking cycles before. Still kind of jiggly, right? Right there. Well, I guess we're gonna have to do a lot of this to the other hand as well, but let's just focus on this for now. Interesting. That's an X rotation. And let me make sure. Eh. That first and final frame remain copied. Hello, Downward Ocean. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's a female dwarf character. I'm reminding myself how to animate. It's been a little while, so I've spent a couple months practicing just making weapons, which were not animated. Here's what she looks like with her material on. Alright, let's see here. Go back there. So, some obvious things I'm sure you're watching, I'm sure people are noticing. I mean, we'll close the fists a little bit. They won't be completely open-handed. We have clipping right here. That's actually really good to know. What's nice about the clipping there is it's easy to fix. It's part of her corset that will never be seen, so we can just hide that part. It's also interesting because I feel like it should be moving with the coat a little bit more, but it's easy enough. No, thank you, Ocean. Appreciate it. All right. So, and it looks like the bandolier is looking good. That's kind of what I wanted it to just sort of hang there. So that's good. My inordinate amount of time spent messing with the bandolier hasn't been in vain. I think the only thing, well, okay, I guess clearly it could be a little bit better if it moved. How would I want to rotate that? I guess, wonder if I, hold on, let me see if I can mess with that now, because that might be easy to mess with. Let me see here. So that's where I would want it to rotate. Go to the bone constraint. It says it would rotate. It's kind of weird that's not. Add a copy rotation. Bone constraint here and just to see if that works. It's the rig. Whoa. It's the rig. And we want the shoulder. It's her left shoulder. And we only want it on the x-axis. Maybe local space. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, put space probably better. Invert. Well, that's not. Get rid of Z there. May ignore this for now and come back to it because I can just always edit it. What's nice is I won't actually change anything with the poses. It'll just be editing. I'll just be getting used to this copy rotation thing, which clearly I'm not super used to. Getting pretty lost with it already. Huh. Yeah, I'll just come back to it. I'll probably try to fix that off stream, I think. I'm gonna have to play around with it some more. There's probably not like just one article I can read online for it. It's just going to be trial and error with some of these until I actually understand some of these values here. Real quick, I'll explain what I'm doing though. This is the bone, the armature that applies only to the bandolier. And it has a bunch of these bone constraints, which are modifiers that tie it to other bones. In this case, to this complicated rig right here. That allowed me to make the bandolier kind of move with the armature, but not move completely with it, because it's just a hanging object. I didn't want it to move completely. So the only issue I'm having here is there's a lot of clipping right there. So that's something I'll want to fix, and I think that should be easy to fix, because it just needs to rotate a little bit. The other option, which is totally fine, is I can just manually fix it myself right here. Oops. So let me get rid of this. Those. Or what I don't want to do though is do all these rotations and then move it. I mean, I can, but that's going to get pretty tricky. So maybe let me find like the most extreme pose. So I guess it's most extreme pose is really just here and at the end. So let's try that. Okay. So that was what? Location rotation again. And then we'll just copy that. What's that? That's 79, 80. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Oh, derp. Forgot. I'm going to do that. I need to key it where it is. That's why it's going to be tricky. Oh, no worries, Ocean. This is just it's stuff that I probably need to research. I try to do off stream because it's a lot of stuff I do off screen, just like Googling and stuff. So no worries. Oops. And it's also just something I can fix at any time. Like there's no point of no return here, so it's no worries. Let's see, go. There's the extreme pose. Oh, that. Then we'll move it right there. And we'll copy that all the way over here. That actually kind of works, doesn't it? And it clips right there. So where does it clip? Just in the extreme pose. That's fine. Oop. That's a rotation. Oop. That's right there. Oh, what's going on with that? Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if there's a way for me to key only the Z rotation. Hey, try it again. No, it doesn't like that. Huh. Interesting. Actually not sure if I can describe why that's happening. The bandolier. Definitely want to rotate it Z-axis though. Really needs to be. Oh, interesting. I can make it happen just like that. I think I may leave it as is for now. The reason I think the reason this is happening is I'm rotating it against these bone constraints, and I'm hitting a certain point where even with the low influence here, it just doesn't want to rotate at a certain angle because these bone constraints tie it to other bones. So I think it's just a weird artifact of having all of that. So we'll let it clip for now. It already looks a little bit better, and it gives me some motion so I can make these grenades bobble up and down. So that'll be nice. So the bone need to be flipped. So you mean flip this upside down, or do you mean change the roll of it? Hey Skittles, welcome to the stream. I don't think I don't think so. But maybe. The reason I have it like this is so the pivot point is right here, because this was upside down yesterday when I was fiddling with this off stream. Does that make sense about the pivot point? I see how things, the individual parts are parented to that right there. It's so weird. I can do it right there, but it's only right here where that happens. I can do a full... Sorry, Scales, I didn't mean to know your question. I didn't add a bone recently, if that's what you mean. the bandolier is its own separate thing because it needed to work a little differently. So that's it's I guess it's kind of hard to see, but this is jeez. Rip. There we go. This is the bandolier armature. Each of these is just for the grenades bobbing up and down. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's not separate rig. Oh, the pivot point is at the bottom. Oh, derp, you're totally right. It is at the bottom. Hmm. Sorry, I'm showing my inexperience with armature right now. So the I went with this direction just because I saw how things parented, so I assumed the pivot point would be up here. But clearly, the way it's rotating, um, pivot point's right there. So yeah, you're totally right. Just completely missed that. Let's see here. You can actually change the display. Yeah, I think the reason's just flawed though. But this is actually, oh, as long as it doesn't hurt these bone constraints, this should be pretty easy to fix. I can definitely just flip it. Interesting. So position offsets are based on the tail. That's probably why I got confused, because I was working with all of these offsets with the bone constraints. Let me try something real quick. Hmm. This is also something I need to refamiliarize myself with, and that's how to organize different animations. I was hoping this would be put into the walk animation. It's definitely not saving there. Yeah, it's fun. It's not usually frustrating either. It's just a lot of trial and error. Let's see. I think I may play around with that a little later. I'm gonna just try to work on the walk animation for now. Because I have a feeling this is going to turn into a lot of me reconfiguring these constraints, which I barely understand. Yeah. Rigging course is sort of one of the tutorials I really kind of skipped through and went straight to just using Rigify. I mean, I know enough about inverse kinematics and all that good stuff, but it is pretty unique. It's also one of those things where like some of the easier solutions, if you're not well practiced, they elude you because Blender makes animation issues actually surprisingly easy to deal with, and it's free software, which is just amazing to me. Okay. Let's actually key some of these fingers here. That's the wrong axis. Thumb in there. It's a little bit better. Hey, ni hao. Good to see you. Oh, I should have been keen as I'm going along. But I already don't recall which ones I actually edited there. Ugh. I will do rotation, because that's all I changed. Yeah, there we go. So now, wait, can I just copy and paste? No, okay. No, I was thinking. Let's just see if we can do this one a little faster. Okay. I feel like we're back at that jiggle that I thought I got rid of. Oh, that's why. I just needed to bring this over here. Like it's shaking someone's hand. Where's that jiggle happening? Between. Huh. I think we're doing pretty good. Ni hao. I think I used to use AutoKeying, and then I started not using it because I kept. I'm sure the issues I were running into were more like rookie issues, but I was running into like I don't know. I was like keying too much, and basically, and so things turned super jittery. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Let's see. That's not happening. Shouldn't be happening. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, that's gonna be tricky. Okay, so the reason it's happening is it's happened right there, and that's just a really short transition to immediately. Okay. Let's see. How do I want to do? I think I know how else I can solve it. Let's save this here. Try something interesting. Let's see if this works. It's still there, isn't it? I think the methodology is right, though. Oh, yeah, you're right. The graph editor. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. Wish I saw that earlier. That's totally what I need. Spring here. It's the right hand. There we go. It's probably a rotation. Nothing. I'm gonna slow down the frame right here. Get it back to that. She doesn't need to be power walking anyway. And on the right, show you the exact rotation. Oh, on the graph editor. Sorry. Yep. Sorry, I'm minimizing back and forth. So I'm responding late everything you're saying here. That's just the frame. You just need to select the key. Got it. There we go. Just on the wrong tab. Okay, so it's definitely happening here. Just this weird little dip. I just want to delete that. Yeah. There. No. Oh. Maybe it's rotation, location as well. Pick the F curve tab. Oh yeah, got it. Ah. That's why. That's our fender right there. It's just a little wonky on the Y location too. It's just too much going on. Okay, that's good to know. So just be careful when you're working with the quaternions. Okay. Looks like we got the jiggle out though, at least for that hand. But it should be easier for the other hand because now we know exactly what the issue was. Let me just confirm that's happening with the other hand too. Yep. I just realized I'm in the rotation again. I meant to delete not in the quaternions there, but in the locations. There we go. That Z dip right there. All right, I'm gonna see what you mean right here. A weird dip there. Go on delete nexus, you can convert to Euler. What other than what I'm trying to do right now, what would be some of the other benefits doing that? Sorry, putting you on the spot, Skills. Is there a slight Z rotation? And there is. Okay. I think I'm tracking. How would I convert to Euler? I can also look that up. Sorry, you don't have to get me through the entire thing. Oh, let me see. Quaternion to Euler. Pretty hidden. Okay. Yeah, the explanation I'm looking at online seems like it's pretty lengthy. Let's see. Hmm. Yep. Let's see. It's actually not too hidden. That's pretty easy. But you're right, I would not have found it. Thank you. All right. So we got that in play. That will make it easier to fix the rotations. And I tell y'all what, I'm gonna get a refill of my coffee. I'll be right back. And here, you can look at what character looks like. Find my scene. Yes. There's the scene. See what she looks like in a gray scene. I'll be right back. And thank you again for helping, Skittles. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. I'm back. Let's continue. Let's begin fixing some things, make this look a little more natural. Thank you. Just flat shading mode, there we go. Alright, so one thing I want to fix is just how far back the hands go here. That's such an extreme. That's quite a substantial difference I just made there. Probably don't want to make it that substantial. Just bring it down. Change something here. Yep. Iron out that weird stretch just a bit too. It's just like too much. It's happening right there. And move this forwards. Teeny bit right there. In fact, we can probably just delete the Y location, this value here, and just let it iterate nicely. I may have already done that. No. Let's just see how that looks. Just a little fast. Yeah, I'm using K to insert. And yeah, you're right. We do need to bend the back a little bit. Oops. There's the sharp increase. I know this is where I can really start using the graph. I almost wonder, do I want to just get rid of that too? Let me see how it looks here. Aside from clipping, it's way more natural. Way more natural. And And since you mentioned back, that's what I'm thinking about right now. Let's... Okay, so the reference I started with just kind of has a straight back. Let's have her face down, looking straight. Oop, don't want that. What? No, I just messed with that, but I'm actually already too sure. Oh, right. Keep forgetting. Hmm. Must have keyed its rotation throughout. Yeah, that's what I did. Let me grab its X location and just clean that real quick. I guess I can also just delete the X location or rotations there. And let's have it. I think I need another reference. Oh, okay. I was wondering why there wasn't a menu that came up with when I was pressing I at the beginning of the stream. I mean, I know the reason is they must have changed something, but I was wondering why they changed that. So does it actually like is it going to key everything like the scale or is it only going to key like does it just kind of know what changes I made? Like it's like, oh, okay, you're keying the rotation and location. I think I need another walking reference. What's your back do when you walk? When you come down, you crunch, and then when you come back up, do you slightly straighten out? That's good to know. That'll make this a little faster then. Let me get my it is. And still did the scale there. It's like responding to a text. Just do. Okay. And let's see here. What's the next? Oh, right. Is that right there? 70. Let me just see how that looks. Get this on 70 as well. What I want to do is have her looking straight ahead the entire time. So I'm going to key that. I'm just going to key that. I may have to. I was hoping it would recognize where it was, but let me see about changing that. It's going to take a moment. I have to do that every 10 frames because that's where I have possible head bobs. Oh. Every 10 frames. No, I guess it's tied locally to that. Okay. There's an unnecessary frame right there. It's the rotation. This is. Yeah, there we go. Kind of looks like she's sneaking. Oh, Shift R, and it'll space it out the same number of frames too. Nice. It's cool how like accessible Blender is when you think about it, because it's all about just like learning the tools available to you, and then everything kind of falls into place. Like you absolutely need like she really looks like she walks with purpose. Holy shit. That's scary. But you need like the art basics, like um like color theory and all that, but and understanding anatomy. But a huge part of it's just learning Blender and getting all the key bindings down. That's why I haven't used ZBrush yet, because I tried using ZBrush and that was just a whole other monster to tackle for sculpting. And I was just like, I'll stick with Blender. I'll stick with Blender for now. ZBrush can come later when I'm a full professional and have a video game out and have more time to play around with that. Alright, let's speed this up and see how it actually looks. I think I can fix the other hand just by copying and pasting the mirror of the pose, so that's fine. I think this is probably where I hit up the graph, but I may also start playing around with exactly where the frames, where the keys are. There's a big part of this walk animation and why it looks odd is every step is taken with too much care. Like she's sneaking. Every step is with thought. That's way too much. Still want to figure out this here. Oop. I'd like her to be looking more like that. I want the... Well, it's probably for the best that they did. I was just hoping that keying the eyes, location, would freeze it regardless of what the head's doing. But I guess maybe the answer is just freeze the head rotation. While I'm looking at her face, this is sort of bothering me. Let's give her a more innocent look here. A little bit of asymmetry is fine. Close the mouth here. Oh, perfect. Use that as well, but that missed that a little bit. Is that all I did? Looks a little less threatening. Yeah, I made the model. So sculpting and retopology are the only things I can really do pretty comfortably now. Although I'm sure professional would have a thing or two to say about my retopology, but yeah, models all mine. If all goes well, this will be a female dwarf character in my video game, which I'm totally gonna make, and it'll totally come out, and it'll be great. Best game. We can look at the wireframe if you want. Her body's masked. Yep. Did this retopology in Retopo Flow. Which is an add-on for Blender, which I absolutely adore. Don't know why that's not there. Or why that's not there. But somehow those got deleted, so I'll have to go back and fix a few things, but it's just a few loops. Few easy loops to fix, no problem. Just this way. Okay, yeah, I was genuinely wondering how that could have happened. Actually, cool. Because I did not tailor it that closely. Certain angle. Okay, cool. And thank you. Yeah, I mean, I that's what I've really practiced a lot of. A lot of things just don't get to the stage, so that's where the animation kind of and the rigging kind of gets pushed to the wayside. Things get to the painting stage, which is a little more practiced at, but not super well practiced. Do yep. Let's fix this crazy sneak walk that she does. I think a lot of it's just going to be smoothing out. I mean, it's probably just doing that and just chilling everything out a little bit. Actually, no. Let's do this on the graph. I can just do this on the graph. Location. Let me change it on this one so I actually see the effect here. Oh, right. It's negative, so I need to go up. Oh, yeah, no wonder it's in meters. Of course, it's going to have a large effect. Okay, so where were the other low points? Right there. And right here. Um, I don't know if enjoy is the right word. Yeah. Um, UV mapping isn't hard, therefore I tolerate it. At least I haven't found it hard, but I haven't done texture atlasing. Is that the word? UV atlasing much. So like when I actually come to compiling things for the game, I know that I'm gonna want things to be consolidated on UV maps. So that's something I haven't done, and that sounds like an organizational nightmare to me. But just UV mapping, I mean, it's fine. Her hair's there. I I usually I know you're not supposed to end up with this, but I often leave enough room so that if I'm like, wait, no, I need to add this. I should add this item here. I should add this item there. Blah blah blah. Then I can pretty easily. And just add it to the UV map without blowing away any extra work. Mhm. Let's just look here. Oh, let me get the. It's back on. I need to copy the mirror image of the pose just to get all the work I did on that hand reversed over here. Yeah, I do have a lot of wasted pixels for sure, but what I find is the biggest gap in my process is a lack of planning at the beginning. So especially when doing like the clothing, I'll decide no, that's not enough. I actually need more. I need another belt. I need another strap here, and it's going to look different from this strap, so it needs its own space. And I always forget the mouth, so I always have to put the jaw in later, so that I end up thanking myself later. And I will be right back again. We'll continue polishing this. Okay, and we're back. Let's see here. What do we want to do now? Oops. There's just too much of a pause there. That's a big part of it. Oh, I want to handle that. So it stays static on the Y. It actually moves forward for a moment right there. It's kind of odd. I think it's just maybe. Let's see. Actually, a little bit better. So, for those unfamiliar, when you're using the graph editor, you can change how the computer interpolates between frames here. So, what I'm trying to do is like a big reason why this walk still looks unnatural, other than probably some posturing issues that I'll may need to fix. When it's doing that big pause, when she flops her foot right there, there's too much of a wait time. And when she starts moving again, you can change that by editing this graph here, so you can kind of see how I'm doing that. I'll do that will actually jet it forward because this is the Y location there. That. So you want to have that pause as short as possible. That's pretty short. But still looks like she's sneaking. So we gotta fix it. Let's see. Probably also just slightly too large of a value on the y-axis here. Maybe not. You want her to extend her leg at least a little bit. Hmm. Let me see how that looks. That's smoother. Okay, I think I have an idea of what to do. Let's do this. Let's get that on 40 right there. It's a handle type. We'll make this back to aligned. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So what we're doing here is I'm changing how far forward. I'm changing where she reaches the most forward point in her foot. And that's when her heel hits the ground. And at that point, her foot needs to start moving back again. So the issue before was that her foot would not begin moving back. In fact, I need to change this right here. And would stay in the same place. So it's like you're taking very, very careful steps, which is not what I wanted. Yep. So now what I would like to do is copy poses and make sure I'm getting all of this information on the right foot over to the left. To figure out how to do that. So we'll start with frame 40. So frame 40 is when the heel hits the ground. That's what happens at frame 80, so that's easy to remember. So 80 is the foil to 40. So we can do this for probably everything here, actually. Let me copy, and then right here, paste flipped. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so it took it all right. Save all this. Okay. Let's go back to the foot. Let's see what else it's doing. So next question is, do I need that many frames here and here just to get there. Probably not. It's such a long lasting stride too, for her to come up so fast. I think that needs to change as well. It's easy enough to do, but it'll lead to a lot of changes. So let me do that in a minute. Let me continue working. Look here. Okay, so copy that. I did the same thing here. Like, see how it's still needs a bit of work though. I think this would have gone. I probably could have done this a little faster if I had a better starting, like if I blocked out better start poses. But it's looking smoother. It's looking smoother for sure. From this angle now, I guess, since that's what I'm working on. Yeah, indeed. And speaking of hindsight, for future reference, for those learning, when you do animation, just like any art discipline, blocking out is part of the process, where you key the most extreme poses in the cycle first. So the up and down for walking. If you're gonna animate a punch, you'll key the actual main punch when the fist is at its furthest. You'll also key when it's all the way back, and then you work on follow through and stuff like that afterwards. Yeah, reference is really important. My sister is a professional animator, and when she's animating, whether it's walking or running, she'll always have a reference on screen. And you can find so many of them just on Google Images. And you just can kind of not mold the mesh, but move pose the rig with the reference in the background. So you don't have to you don't just have to go off memory, stuff like that. And that makes things go a lot faster. Okay, what was I gonna do? So I think the next thing is that just takes a little too long. um, so I'm gonna save here because this is gonna alter some fundamentals of this animation because I'm about to mess with the last frame here. So that's gonna be interesting. Hmm. No. What's the fastest way to do this? Hmm. Think so. Probably so. I probably don't need that much going on right there. So that just needs a small little viewport. I need all this stuff right here. Uh, let me just see how this looks to see if this is even a good idea. We're just gonna move this frame closer. I know this means I'm breaking the loop and I'm doing a lot of different things, but I just want to see how that foot, and if it goes faster, if that looks a little more natural. But it's hard to tell how natural it looks when you break the loop. Let's see. So what frame did I put that on? It's not much of a difference, but hmm. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's also probably true. I just have a single monitor, and a dual monitor setup would actually help quite a lot here. I'm assuming I could probably take these windows and put them on another monitor. That would be amazing. Well, that didn't really. Decisive. Still just looks too much like she's sneaking. So where is this? Let's see how it looks. She's not extending her knee all the way out. It's kind of weird. Or her leg all the way out. So she's like constantly hunched over a little bit. I think that's probably just because her torso isn't high enough at those spots. Let's see. Should be one more high bar. So is that there? Speed. Oh, there we go. Whoop. Okay, so she kicks her leg out there. That is actually what I wanted. Still doesn't look super natural, but that sounds wonderful. It really does, actually. Let me start copying and pasting the reverse poses here. Hmm? Oh, right. Need to copy everything. Okay. Yeah. Gotta get that Wacom, the Wacom tablets. I do have a small little, not graphics tablet, but a little drawing tablet. Pretty nifty. Let's see. Let's go back to the Y location, play around with this again. Just don't want all that wobble. There we go. Yeah, look, Wacom is like the Maya of drawing tablets. Um, do. Let me get pasting again here. Sure. Yeah, okay. And in case I change anything. Sec. Let's see. see what happens. Makes it worse. Okay. Cool. To do that, I need to fix the rotation and play around with some things. Let's get the other. All right. Let me see that. Oh, okay. I see why. Giving up this mirror thing, I'm just making it look worse. Drat. Hmm. I mostly use it for painting when I get to the hand paint phase. I've used it a little bit for sculpting, but I mostly sculpt with the mouse. Oh, this is... I wonder why I'm not getting a stronger rotation there. Yeah. She is gonna be a playable character. No, we gotta go the distance. The more we learn the walk, the less mistakes will repeat in the run. And then some. What's more is if I make another female character, I might be able to reuse some of these keyframes and the rig as well. Just messing up with mirroring all of these fixes to the other foot. I think there are easier ways to do that too. I just don't remember them. Oops. It's right there. Is it just perspective? Hey. Oh. Soft. I just don't need that. All this. It's a little bit better. Oh yeah, so maybe it's worth explaining. Game plan for this character is, this game is kind of going to join the sea of isometric top-down roguelikes. So you'll see the character perhaps from this view right here. And her main attack will just be throwing bombs. So these little grenades on her belts and stuff, she'll just throw them. And that'll be kind of like, she'll have unlimited amounts. She'll just keep plucking them from a belt and tossing them, and they'll get progressively stronger as she gathers more items. We're mainly doing isometric top-down view kind of for this reason, so I can get away with more animation mistakes, because obviously I'm still very amateur at it, as opposed to very up close or even like just behind her, so every imperfection is really obvious. So isometric roguelike, see it from up here. Yeah. Yep. So I'm not using this reference anymore. That. What is this value? Reset vandal type here. Perfect. Again. Oops. Yeah, that brings us right there. Now let's go back here. Oh, that's why. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Smooth that out for a bit. I need to look at something else now, or I'm gonna drive myself crazy. Let's look at the hands. That's definitely Y value movement. Okay, let's speed that up just a little bit. Yep. Yeah, let's get. There we go. Now that's smooth. And the mission is ordered. This is why blocking out's so important too, because you see how many like keyframes we end up with here? This is the Y location for the foot. So the Y is this green axis here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't even know if we need this third one right here. So this foot is actually only being posed on the y-axis 4 times, and one of those times is just they're repeating the first frame, so we have a nice loop. That's why blocking out's so important, because it's really, you end up with far less frames than you think that end up being keyed anyway. Let's go here. This is the Z location. That's actually fine with me. Let me look at the X rotation. Just think these are a little too harsh. Yep. That bandelier's still bothering me. Fix that later though. Doiler. Okay. Good walk reference up here. We're just gonna move her torso up, just... Whoa. Maybe not that much. Just a tiny bit. If this were an NPC walking around, you know, I think I'd be okay with that. Maybe. Maybe. Alright, let's say I'm happy with that for now, and let's say I can always go back to it. Next thing that's on the list of things I don't remember how to do is saving this as one distinct animation and then putting it to the side. And I know there's an action editor, but I want both of these to be a part of it. Cause I mean, I ended up not doing anything with the bandolier, but so this is where I'm always a little confused here. So I got this saved as the walk. This is what I was thinking of. Whoa. So let me save here, because we're gonna... Default pose set. I go to the walk. Saves the walk. Looks a little wonky here. But we got the bandolier rig. They're both doing what they need to do. There's the walk here. Okay. Yeah, so I think we got that. So this action editor is saving everything into the walk. If I go to if I go to the default pose, it's saving that for me. Or it should be. Oh, that's why. So I didn't set that to the default pose as well. Got it. Got it. Got it. Good. Okay. Whoa. I'm gonna get more coffee. Leave you with this face for a moment. I'll be right back. Also, I'm using the free version of 3D Coat, so you get all these watermarks. I forgot to mention that, so if you're wondering what those were. BRB. Okay, we're back. Sorry again. Let's go back to animation. Let me unhide everything. Yep. So, about walk pose, I know it still needs some tweaking. I will play around with that probably off stream. I would like to start a running animation and get that going. I think once I block it out, depending on how I'm feeling once it's blocked out, I may call it a day for the art stream. I'm gonna stream later today, but it's not gonna be art. It's gonna be it's gonna be Elden Ring. Um, but yeah. Let me get this back into the viewport. So let's see here. I push down to a new one. Yeah, what I do. Run. Yep. So we did get a reference for running as well. Where did I put it? I don't know how much I like that reference for this character. Let me check out some references online here. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Any better references I'd rather use? How does this reference look? We'll start with this one, see how it goes. Use, we'll put it over there. Okay, let's get started. Make sure I understanding which side is which. Let me get into post mode. Okay. Let's see which hand is that. Yep. in its own way. Maybe it's because the poses are more extreme, but I feel like running's easier than walking. Only thing I don't like is this shoulder seems like it's dislocating itself a little bit. I can relax that just a wee bit. Relax down a wee bit. And we got that. Got that. That. Shabloink. Shabloink. Oop. We're going to location rotation that. Huh. That's funny. I don't know why that's happening. But doesn't matter. Okay. Oop. Wrong thing. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if I want to use this reference. I'm going to run into the same issues. I'm going to go to references online again. So indecisive on this. I'll continue with what I have. Seems like a lot of keyframes, though. But we will do it. Let's move on. Just realized. That sucks. Alright, let's do that again. This is because I bet that does a lot of that for me. I won't bob the head just yet. I'll do that later. I want to bring this foot in just a little bit. This has us doing another push off. Hmm. I might skip this one. This doesn't seem like a significant enough pose, so I think I'll just let it go into the up. This will be much more intense pose here. I guess I can see why, actually. This is going to be an interesting transition, and I let the computer interpolate there. Okay. Let's get all that keyframed. Did the head as well that time. Looking all right. Yep. Now we make contact. That should just be these keyframes copied. Oops. and then pasted flipped, right? Hold on. There we go. Okay, so we're starting at 10. Let's go see how this looks. Yeah, okay. Cool. Spec 80. Copy. Paste flipped. Copy. Paste flipped. Oh, that's what I have to do. And then we should just make contact again, right? 90. Okay. 89, let's see how that looks. Good. Good. Oh, the bandolier is doing that thing. Doing it on its own this time, and I didn't touch it. That's annoying. Really pretty good default for a run animation, though, without having messed with much. I think the only thing is this looks kind of weird, but only that part moving. Still need to fix the clipping there, and of course need to fix the bandoiler. How does it look if I hide the bandolier? So right now it's very prominently messing up. Where's my clipping? Disorganized. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, this one went a little bit smoother. We definitely practiced with that walk, but I do think running's just easier because of how extreme the poses are. It's easier to see what's going on. I mean, a lot of this we can almost keep. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily, but a lot of this we can almost keep. It just has to be sped up in certain areas. And we gotta fix that bandoiler. Hmm. Let's go to the bandolier rig. And let's see if I can figure out what's really this time, since it's really happening a lot. So it's probably the copy rotation. So influence is 0.102 right now. Doesn't matter either. What was it, 0.56? Oh, no, it's 0.056. Maybe time to flip that bone. Let's see something. No, it's gonna mess it up, but hold on, I gotta. Let's go back to it. What happens if we make this 180? No, but I don't know what. Of course, this doesn't work. 270. Interesting. Huh. Bone roll is so weird. I wish I caught that 90-degree bone roll when I was rigging it originally. But I'll tell you what, I'm pretty happy with how far we got today, though it took most of the day to get 2 in-progress animations. I'm pretty happy with that, considering it's been... When's the last time I've animated? Nearly a year since I've animated, I think. Yeah, it's probably not a year. I think it's like maybe October or November. It's probably the last time I animated. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'll stop here and take a break. Thanks y'all for watching. I really enjoyed this stream. Got a lot of help as well. Downward Ocean, Skittles, Nihao, everyone, thank you. Thank you for joining and for the help as well. So it was a lot of fun. Yep, that's right. That's right, knock some cobwebs off. I will be streaming Elden Ring a little bit later. My streaming schedule is a little erratic. I'm really still establishing it. I've only been streaming for 2 weeks. But generally during the week, I'll try to do an art stream, unless I'm doing something that involves more research than doing, in which case I may just not stream art. But in the late afternoon to evening, I'll usually start streaming a game, and we're just going through all the Souls-likes right now. So Elden Ring, I just did Bloodborne. Yeah, thank you guys. I will be on later today. And sorry, I got to do the obligatory plug. If you like what you see, please leave a follow. It helps me out a lot. And I hope to see you again next time. Thanks again. All right, bye.